Hello people, and welcome back to part 26 of Noveria, our Cities Skylines snow build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, and thank you for all the support on Monday's stream. We streamed a day later this week, and we came through with some really nice infrastructure expansion, bringing the cycle highway over to last episode, Noveria town. And during the stream we actually found that people were cycling really far. Yeah, kind of crazy distances. We tracked one dude leaving Noveria who was actually heading for the technology labs over in the university somewhere here. So Noveria's cycle network really coming into play now. You can technically cycle from Noveria all the way into central downtown now with the interconnectivity. They brought through 2 new national roads to run parallel with the highway, or run parallel with the railway rather. So lots of nice parallel infrastructure coming together. This is always nice, isn't it? And then it all feeds into some new highway additions that are developing over here now, preparing for our eventual airports, which will of course fill this space over here in quite a few episodes' time, you would imagine. So yeah, thank you for all the support, really appreciate it, and it's nice to see this part of town come into life a little bit more. Oh yeah, also cute wooden bridge. Let's not forget about this. This is really nice. And of course a snowman coven as well, hoarding scrap metal under the bridge like the trolls that they are. And then a cute little highway rest stop over here as well, which we did forget to put in a petrol station, so we need to do that as well. But coming together, isn't it, this part of the map? It's quite nice, it's quite cute. However, in today's episode we're going to work on a very unique, very special kind of snow build, and we're going to work on the mountain ski resort. So we have a wonderful little lake at the foot of these mountains here. Going to use a couple of the resort hotel assets, get these in here, develop some nice park grounds around them, and a nice little winding lake road that comes up from here and connects into a real simple highway exit ramp over here. And generate some ski slopes, right? We want some skiing to take place in these mountains. There's a couple of different opportunities here where we can get involved with. So that's what we're going to do. Let's build a mountain ski resort, shall we? Okay, so to get started, we're going to develop a very small highway exit system. Okay, so there we have real simple basic highway on and off ramp. Now this area is not going to attract vast amounts of traffic, so an interchange like this will be more than acceptable. Okay, so we'll prepare this arterial to continue to flow out maybe by another 15 tiles or so, okay? And what we can do here is maybe develop some further outer lying towns if we want to. I know we have a request for Overtheria to come out of this point, but let's start developing this mountain road. So we're going to go for some 2-lane with trees, alright? Very desirable resort here, okay? You know, imagine people from Palaven would travel up and their friends would ask, you know, where are you going on holiday? And they say, oh, we're going skiing in Noveria. And their response is, someone's doing well. It's a very expensive place to go on holiday. And this is where they come, right? This is where the elite come to get away from the city. I'm going to continue this little treed road all the way along the lake shore. And even this should give us... Hello, the downtown continually loses power. Are you okay? Have we run out of power? It did this last episode as well. And then it goes away. I'm not sure. Are you okay, downtown? We are also getting little bits of abandonment here in the downtown as well, and this is because of a goods issue. Just a little diversion here very temporarily. We're getting this little sign here which is not enough goods to sell. This is because we have basically zero generic industry in Noveria at the minute, and we are importing all of our goods. So next episode we need to address this with a dedicated generic industry build. Which we will do, just to help save the city. Touch of noise pollution over there as well, that's fine though. Okay, so even a little bit of nighttime spice over here with this road. Just kind of circling up the lake, right? It's going to be a nice time here today. All the lights in the forest kind of coming up here. It's going to be a nice time. Okay, so there are two assets that I want to have a look at today. A unique building over here, and then also in our content creator pack, we have the resort hotel from the Japanese content creator pack. So I think I'm leaning more into the spa hotel for our kind of chosen key asset to sit at the head of the lake and the resort, right? This one's a little bit higher density. I think we'll probably end up placing this in the downtown somewhere. Maybe as some kind of political district build, right? You know, imagine this is where delegates would come and stay once visiting Noveria. So this one's a little bit too high dense for me here, right? I think we're going to go with the spa hotel as our ski resort. Okay, so of course we want this centralized as best as we can with the lake, so we can probably eye this up. I'll probably say about there, right? That's going to be fairly central with the outlet of this little mountain lake. Also a possibility for waterfalls here today as well. We'll see. Plenty of opportunities. There's also another winter unique building which I'm keen to use, and this is the ski resort, which requires one filled snow dump, which because we play without the weather on, because it's horrific to watch all the white, and we haven't actually unlocked this yet. So we're going to place down a snow dump, let's set our game up on 3-speed, whack some snowy weather on, and then unlock the ski resort so we can use this in the build today as well. Okay, after quite literally 1,000 snowfalls, it's finally filled up. Which should now unlock this ski resort for us. This thing is a beast, isn't it? My word. Okay, I was expecting it to be that big. We'll see what we can do. But we do have our snow dump filled up, and Noveria is choking with snow, so let's go get some more snow dumps placed down, and then we can build our ski resort. Okay, so now we finally have all that established, we can begin to work on our lakefront hotel design. Got a nice smooth curve in here. We'll of course upgrade this into treated road as well. I think I would like a little bit of car parking at the front of this, so why don't we knock this back a little bit. Let's see what kind of sizes we're working with here. Okay, so if we draw in 2 spaces here, yeah, this is going to be fine for giving us some car parks as to what we want. So let's leave ourselves 4 tiles in between. Cool. Of course, set up a little green cities district, and we're going to zone 2x2s. Give it the organic and local produce. Come on to our marquee tool, and then we're waiting for our 2x2 car parks to come in, which will eventually look like this. Very nice. And then we can grab that unique again and go for the spa hotel. This is going to sit perfectly right outside of these car parks, which will give us a nice little frontage. Okay. I also want to establish a park life area here as well, because we're going to be wanting to be using a few of the park life assets, like the piers, some of the gazebos along the lake shore as well. So we'll definitely have a park over here too. Let's get these guys power and water. So the final solution as to how we get power out here is probably going to be a ton of earthquake sensors, which will be a lot of fun to place, I'm sure. Okay. So this is going to be the base thing, right? Now this is where people come and stay. They can enjoy the facilities here. And the thing we're going to do is come off with a little bit of a dirt road here, okay? Just go onto our road length and angle. Then we're going to start ascending into the mountains. So lots of slopes here today. So I'm thinking the way we can use the ski resort asset itself, it is a big boy. It's really big. Huge, actually. Kind of enormous. So I think perhaps we use this down by the lake shore, right? And it's almost like a little training facility. Maybe if you're new to skiing and you're not quite ready to get up into the peaks, you can maybe do a little bit of practicing at the ski resort with some staff. Kind of get the idea, right? There's something very similar like this in Manchester. The chill factor as you come off the M62. So kind of very similar looking asset, actually. I wonder if it's inspired by it. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll definitely have this down by the lake shore. It looks like there's some little... almost like little rooms. Almost like this is like a hotel in itself. Like you can actually stay at the ski resort. I guess it makes sense because it is a resort, right? So why don't we have these rooms facing out onto the lake? I think that would be quite nice, won't it? So first impressions, is it massively dwarfs the spa hotel? Really tiny indeed. I think it wants an angle, doesn't it? It probably wants an angle. It wants to sit probably here rather than directly next to it. I think that certainly helps it a lot more, doesn't it? Separating it away from the spa hotel. We've also got some layers of height in front here as well, which is just the way the terraforming's gone, which I'm fine with. I'm happy with that. Lighting's a little bit insane. So move our time of day forward a little bit here so we're not getting that happening all the time. There we go. Okay. So it's super big, but I think we can make it work, right? Imagine arriving here, checking into some of the rooms, and then enjoying the lake shore. And the ski resort behind. Let's bring some of these water pipes over as well. Very nice. Okay, so let's start discussing the ski slopes themselves. I think this will be the main kind of gully, if you like, but we'll also do some things over here as well. So it is naturally sloped forwards, which is going to help a lot with the terraforming. We won't need to do vast amounts of things, but with ski resorts, there is a different gradients of slopes. Some are easier with others, and some can be quite deadly and dangerous. So we're going to want to try and bring a few of those vibes into the area today. So let's slope down this hill that we've terraformed out for the ski resort. Make it a little easier for our dirt road to ascend. Okay, let's bring it up ever so slightly. And then we'll straighten out. And then this is where we're going to place our first cable car to head straight up, okay? So we're going to come into our public transport. Let's grab ourselves a cable car. We are going to want the end of line stop for the time being. Now, of course, I made the noob mistake of bending my cable car cables out in different directions in Palaban. When in real life, they actually run very rigidly straight. So we're going to want to use these dirt road guidelines as guidelines for placing in our stops. So we know that it's right next to it here. So we can place in another one. And then just using road length and angle. Just like moving down in very long, straight, rigid sections, of course. Just following those dirt road guidelines. And then we can hop back in here. Okay. And then we can take away the dirt road now. So we know that they're all straight together. And then we can simply carry it on up here as well. So where do we want to perhaps create a little landing point for our cable cars to run up into the mountains? Probably, what about here would be nice, right? Just below these little ridges. Let's terraform out slightly smoother platform. Okay. Let's come back onto that dirt road. And you're going to want to come all the way up. There we go. And then the final one to sit here, which will be the end of line stop. There we go. And then we can just bring this down now. And just using those dirt road guidelines to keep it parallel. Everyone's going to be happy, and then they can carry on up. So the point of this, right, is we're creating two stops. You know, you can get off here and enjoy some of the slopes that are a slightly easier gradient to take on. And then, you know, if you're a super hardcore experienced skier, you can head right up to the top and then perhaps take on some more gnarly slopes over here. Okay. So that's going to be nice. That's going to be splendid. We will, of course, need to keep in a dirt road connection for all these stops, but I don't want it to run parallel with the line. We'll probably hide it somewhere in the mountain. So let's box them off now. Okay. Because obviously these are going to want services. Garbage are going to need to get up here. So we'll kind of keep them running fairly close to the ridges and do some different things with them. Let's also get a connection in for this one as well. Snaps that 90-degree angle. And then just bring our road meandering down. And then connect it back in here. So I think what we can also do to help design the cable car stops a little bit more is include some little part life assets with them. So let's go ahead and grab a little bit more level terrain and bring ourselves a little more room around them. And I think just some regular city park stuff, probably including little cafes, a couple of restrooms as well, maybe a little info booth around here. So you get the idea, right? We can flesh out like a little stop, and then we can use lots of nature reserve fencing to maybe designate where the slope starts and do some prop detailing. And then kind of use these nature reserve fences as the boundary of where you can and cannot ski. Okay, bring them back down. Right, and then we'll go for another one out here. Keep it running this way. And we want to kind of mimic those curves, right? You know, you're skiing left and right, so the curvature of the fence on each side wants to match with the other. Keep bringing this down as well, down into here. And then really come into our forest brush and then just delete all the trees within the ski slope itself. So I was thinking maybe we can use some vanilla dirt path on the ski slopes to actually get people moving around them, but we'll kind of see how that goes. So we'll keep that there, and then we will use our conifer brush and make it incredibly strong. And then just start to fill out with very dense mountain conifer forest all up these edges, right? Gonna bring it all down here. There's fantastic opportunities, of course, for some chunkier rock detailing to come into our rocks tab. Let's definitely use, possibly the phallic assets will work nicely here, actually. There's definitely opportunities with these if we blend them in with cliffs number 1 through 3. Maybe a little cave in here as well, where all the bears live. So there's opportunities, right? We can now start to clear out this fashion. So let's have a little discussion about what that dirt path could potentially look like. So we could use this as the ski slope itself, but I think that might look a little bit weird. But it would get people using it even though they wouldn't be skiing. So you kind of have to pretend, right? You know, skiing isn't a massively fleshed out entertainment mechanic in the game. But there are a couple of different things that can be done with it. So let's work on this second one now then. Let's come into our slope terrain. So this will be our harsher gradient. So we want to start going up this slope. Let's make this one a little more gnarly and perhaps put in a couple of little threats in there as well. Maybe some stray rocks that have fell down over the years and created some skiing disasters. If you want to be a little bit morbid about it. Okay. But what I also want to do is make it so that if you're doing one complete run, then you can also get back onto this ski slope over here. Or you can also stop down at this one, depending kind of how far you want to ski, right? I'm probably putting way too much thought into this for how functional the game is going to read this build, but it's always fun to pretend, right? It's always fun to pretend. So again, as we did at the first stop, we're going to level out a little area for our skiers to depart from, marking that out with plenty of nature reserve fencing. What was the width here? What did we go for? It's about 3 tiles apart, isn't it? So we can probably mimic that here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to keep my nature reserve fencing going all the way through here. So actually want to bring it down here, don't we? We don't want to follow the road. It's probably going to be easier to do this with the terrain height on. It's very green, isn't it? Wasn't expecting it to be that green. For any keen skiers in the subscribers, do let me know how accurate to life this ski build is. I have yet to experience skiing in my short little life, but we'll see what we can do. So I now want this to pan off in this direction as another opportunity to ski. And then this will bring them down into here. So we now want to create an opening in the fence for... God, my goodness, that is so white. Coming off of that green, God, blinding. Absolutely blinding. Right, and then we'll have this one that now flow back up and encompass this ski slope over here. And then bring it back down into this one. So hopefully I'm getting my point across here. God, absolutely blinding. My eyes are actually watering off of that. So, you know, if you want to do the full mountain in one go, you have that option. Or if you want to do maybe just one slope and then stop here and walk the rest of the way down, then you can, you know, get off here. But equally as much if you want to carry on, then you have this route here, which opens out but back onto the main slope. I think what I also want to do is maybe create a few little islands using the fencing within the slopes as well. So let's bring these down. And then kind of fill these with a couple of different rock assets maybe. Let's get some chunkier numbers in where we can. Might need to make it a little bit wider. And then be very, very packed out with the conifers that sit here. And then just trim up the ones that don't land on the correct side of the fence. Okay. So just a little island within the ski slope, right? You know, it's an obstacle to avoid, right? But we're definitely going to want to continue to slope out this mountain here because it's very harsh at the minute. And I think, again, this vibe will be very much kind of brought together with lots and lots of thick conifer forest to run up either side. Okay, bring that down. And we can hopefully see the vibe begin to develop within this valley now. Getting some folks driving up too. Wonder where they're going. Are you going to the cafes? Yeah, they're going to the restroom. And the info booth. Okay. But we'll see. But we're already getting a few people coming down. Let's make sure that our highway interchange or service interchange isn't choking. We do seem to be okay. This will all be decorated, of course. Looks a little bit naked and exposed at the minute. But if we pop our nighttime view on, we can get a little glimpse as to how things are going to sit here. I think we've definitely got away with the ski slope vibe, right? And I don't like the pathway. The pathway really breaks it, so let's remove it all. Let's get rid of the vanilla dirt path. Bring it all up through here. Tremendous. Of course, we can probably see some little spots of light if we very temporarily give some power and water up here as well, just so we can kind of see what they look like illuminated on the mountain at night time. There we go. That's what we want, right? Just wants that little pop of light at the top. Oh, especially with the Borealis in the background as well. Yes, please. It's nice now, isn't it? It's coming together. It's coming together. So big ski slopes, and we'll definitely do some more of these little ski islands here during our detailing time lapse. And probably smoothing out a little bit of this rock as well. Don't really want much of the brown rock showing, I don't think. Or maybe because this is a high gradient, maybe you would. You can't really ski on stone though, can you? Unsure. I assume not. Okay. So that's the bulk of the ski slopes done, and we'll of course flesh those out during our detailing time lapse. So let's have a discussion about building a spa, resort, hotel, shall we? Of course we have the main asset, but we want to build a few assets around this in order to bring it together. So we're going to bring a road straight opposite. Okay. Now there's a few assets from the healthcare tab I want to use here, including the sauna and probably the community pool as well. We want to find a way to bring these in, possibly the yoga garden as well. Possibly the yoga garden would work here. I think it would. Definitely the sauna and the pool though. However, I also want to make this park life area that we've set up a nature reserve, because I want to use some of the log cabins that we've been given to play with in the game. So we're going to make this nature reserve, right? It's all going to be wonderful. And to get the log cabins, we do actually need to hit level 4, I think it is. Yeah, level 4 we want to get to a nature reserve. So the idea here, using the cabins, very similar to what we did in 5B, for those that are also following that series. You know, you can stay at the hotel if you want, but they also have some little hillside cabins that are available to rent out here as well, should they wish. Okay, so we're going to want to hit an entertainment level. So the best way to do this really is just bring out a little pathway. Okay, and then I'm just going to spam down a ton of campfires just to get that entertainment level. And of course, we'll clear them up once we hit the required level. Boom. We're going to drop the ticket price as well, which attracts more people. Stick a policy on it. We will go for advertisement campaign, bring 20% more visitors. And yep, I will wait until we hit a level 4 nature reserve. So we'll be back in a little bit. After another 1,000 years, we have hit level 4 on nature reserve. That took forever. And we've named it after one of our wonderful Patreon subscribers, Bradley Stanton, Mountain Resort. Thank you so much for your support, Bradley. You are a real secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. Okay, so now we have access to our cabins, which is great news. So we're going to take away this road, and then I'm going to upgrade the existing infrastructure into dirt. Then we're going to use a little bit of freeform here, just to hug the lake shore, but the road will end from this point, okay? We're going to come back into our nature reserve pathway. We're going to come on to just our road length as well. And we're going to bring this out, okay? So the first thing we really want to do actually is terraform out the layers of which the log cabins will sit. So I think we'll bring one out on this tier right here, okay? Scoop this out right there. Nice little lip, and then we'll grab another height. Let's go for this one. There we go. Scoop little bits of it out. Again, for those that have seen 5 builders, we're using a very similar premise here, right? And then we'll get a nice slope just here for our path to ascend. So we'll bring it up, and then we'll allow it to just curve around a little bit of freeform. And then back to the straight road tools and move on to the next tier. And then again, a little bit of freeform, just as we come around the edge of this ridge. And then what this will allow us to do is now come in with hunting cabins 1 and 2. We'll keep alternating them and create some different sizes here. Again, plenty of decoration opportunities with these. Okay, so we now have some snowy cabins that are going to sit as part of our spa resort here. We'll also use this opportunity now to introduce some fishing cabins into the shore over here as well. We of course want to make sure that we are continuing with the pathways down onto the shore. Just keep these guys connected. Okay. It's not going to be too bad, I don't think, is it? A little bit of fishing down here. There's also the opportunity to use the nature reserve sign as the possible entrance into the area. So, you know, this would be like the spa's, you know, kind of front signage, just to say, you know, welcome to the Bradley Stanton Mountain Resort. And we can just give this a little bit of fencing as well, just to help accentuate that it is kind of a little dedicated area. And then we'll allow that fencing to hug the river on this side as well. Let's go ahead and throw down a couple of trees around here. A couple of tragic snowy bushes always go a long way, right? And then how about a U right by the sign? Okay. You're welcome to the resort when you enter this part of the road, okay? Very nice. Lots of people visiting. There's a lot of people enjoying the mountain resort. I realised at the start of this episode I said it wouldn't attract that much traffic, but here I am being proved almost immediately wrong. Okay, so now let's have a look at these assets here that we placed in earlier. So the community pool is going to be the first one, and again I think we're going to tear this up so it really kind of sits around the spa hotel. So let's terraform out a little layer for it. Let's get a little slope on here as well. And hopefully we can come out with probably another dirt road here. Again, onto our straight road and road length tools. Let's make sure that these layers are definitely the way we want them. There we go. So with the pool, asset orientation is going to be really important. So I kind of want the sides of the pool to look out over the lake, alright? So if this is the front of the asset, we're going to want to position it probably about here. Hopefully that's deep enough, maybe a little bit too shallow. Yeah, we're at tile too short there, so we'll just remeasure. We're at 140, so let's go for 160 instead. Let's bring this out. place it up here. You know, people in the pool, they're going to look out over the back of the hotel and the lake, of course. Be so much better once these power lines have gone. Okay. That's not going to be too bad. Then why don't we partner this with the sauna over here as well. Probably upgrade these into a fancier tree road as well, I imagine. Let's bring it up here. And then up there. Okay, so it's all about positioning these assets to continually complement the spa hotel, not forgetting that that is our key asset, right? It's the meat and potatoes of the build. Very nice, let's bring that up. And then there's plenty of opportunity now for some vanilla walking path to arrive between the assets and just help flesh out these areas. Not that this area needs to be massively walkable, but it's always nice to decorate with pathways, right? And of course these guys want a little bit of water as well. Okay, so we're starting to see these vibes slowly develop. In terms of what else I want to happen around the nature reserve part of town, let's come out with another pathway and bring this quite a distance away from the resort. And we can do a number of things here. We don't have to stick just to nature reserve assets, of course. Gazebos would work nicely here to sit up against the lakefront and maybe partner with some of those nature reserve assets. We can maybe stick a fishing cabin with them if we wanted to. Develop a little bit of relaxation here. Do the gazebos really need power? Seriously? Really? It's a gazebo, man. Okay, whatever. We'll give them power. And then as we begin to continually surround this again with that thick conifer forest up and along the lake shore, it should just provide a little bit of kind of a space of tranquility where you can maybe walk away from the hotel and sit and enjoy the lake. Bring some kayaks down here as well, of course, from our nature reserve props. Always a nice time, right? Not that you would really go kayaking in this weather. It's kind of freezing, but we can pretend, right? And then, of course, there's viewing points. Absolutely some viewing decks up towards the top of our ski slopes. And we can maybe just spin this one around and enjoy a nice little mountaintop view across pretty much the entirety of Noveria from this point, right? So there's a few different ways we can be a little more creative, especially with the nature reserve assets. There really is a nice combination of things we can do there. However, guys, I feel like that does feel like a good place to move into a detailing time-lapse. Now we have the bulk of the build in. And we want to come out and flash these areas out here, which we will do. Probably come through and introduce some more of these little ski islands into the slopes. Make some of them a little bit bigger. Maybe refine the shape of the fencing. Maybe kind of bring it off on a split down here. Just get creative with the shapes. Lots more rock assets to complement the mountainside. And of course detail up each ski stop with part life assets and make these look a little bit better as well. And then likewise up at the top one over here. And then just some small refinements to the lake shore. And detail up the entrance with some nice fencing as it hugs the river as we enter the town. And detail up our little interchange over here as well. So I did just drop a recycling centre. There was a little bit of garbage, so we'll delete that too. But otherwise, let's detail this beast up and we'll be right back. Hey guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the episode, likes, comments and shares below really help out my channel. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. I'm pretty sure we've used about 90% of Noveria's remaining path and fence nodes in this episode. Absolutely tons of detail that you guys wouldn't have seen, so do hang around for the rest of the outro tag and check out what you've missed. But otherwise, a really very fun and unique build to pull off. A credit to Imperator for some of the inspiration behind this. A couple of years ago, he did a ski resort build, which will be linked down in the description below if you want to go and check out the wonderful German master who has put some fantastic stuff together in this game. Do go and check him out. But otherwise, I am really happy with Noveria's mountain ski resort, and the cinematic should hold some wonderful views over to that very distant nighttime skyline, and a lot of the nature reserve kind of paths and props have really come together down on the lake shore as well. But otherwise, I will shut up and leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.